What's going on YouTube? Today I'm back with another video. We finally got some builder news. We got Double H's build up right now, just his video, so that's what we're looking at right now. But yeah, we basically just got some build news. So in this video I'm gonna break down some information and then break down some builds that I was just looking at while I was watching some people. I was watching Joe Knows, obviously Double H, like I'm watching right now, and a few more, so we're just gonna get into those. But basically the first thing you want to always know when you make your builds, don't just look at people on YouTube and copy theirs. Always make builds based off your playstyle. I say it every time. Just make builds based off of your playstyle because you play different than anybody else on the game. Yes, you can copy some things, look at some things, always take these information, but don't just copy it word for word, bar for bar, because it might not fit your playstyle. Another thing is some of these builds that you're seeing while all these community day builds are dropping are probably gonna change. So yesterday, before the game comes out next week, and we already got a patch to dribbling, so things are probably going to change. None of these are final builds of the game. These are all demo versions, so they probably changed some things, maybe mix and match a few things. But yeah, those are just some things that you want to be cautious for. Also, we don't really know how the gameplay is going to be. We don't know how strong contests are going to be, how much you get contact dunks, all the cheese. We don't know all that yet, so it's going to be your first build that you're about to make, so always just be cautious of that. Nobody's first build is usually the best build. It's always difficult because we don't know how the game's going to play, so just be cautious of those things while you make your first build, but just make them based off of how you want to play the game. Just try to enjoy the first few weeks, and then you can get into the competitive builds and all that. So basically the screen when you make your build is pretty much the same. They got where you can see on the top right, you can see the takeovers, you can see the badges that you qualify for, you can see both of those things. So the takeovers show you what boosts you're gonna get, they show you what they do, what each takeover does. There's 72 takeovers. If you don't know what the takeovers do, you can watch my last video on that. But yeah, that's basically what you see on the screen. The only differences from 24. There's also with all the badges that you can see to what you qualify for. You can look it up on 2K Labs. They have a pretty elaborate little system. I'm also put a screenshot up right here, and that's going to be a screenshot of what 2K posted of all the badge requirements that you need. So each attribute you got to hit, you can see it on the screen. It's hard to read, but yeah, basically those are the caps or the minimum requirements that you got to hit for each badge, from bronze all the way up to legend. So another thing that you want to watch out for is that height affects how much and what attributes are tied together this year, and it's just different. So basically, if you're at 6 foot and you put your ball handle up, it's going to bring up your layup. Let's say they're going to be 15 apart, your ball handle and your layup. I don't know the exact amount, but once you move them up to 6'1", then your ball handle and your layup is not going to be tied as much together as they were at 6. So it's going to be probably, let's say, 10 attribute points apart. So you're going to be able to max out your ball handle at a 90, but your layup's going to be an 80 at 6'1". But at 6, it's going to be your ball handle at a 90, your layup at a 75. It's going to be that much of a difference. So you just want to watch out for how much height affects your builds. So just always play around. If you really want to make a, let's say, 6'6" this year, just look into the 6'7s, look into the 6'8, look into the 6'5, look into the 6'4, because you're really going to want to look at every type of possibility, because we don't know what's going to be, I'm not going to say OP, but what's going to be useful, how much things are tied together. Don't just be stuck on one height, is basically what I'm saying. One height, one wingspan, unless that's truthfully what you want to make. Just a few things about certain attributes. Driving dunk, well, I'm going to say badges. Driving dunk is tied heavily to your vertical, so if you're trying to go for that legend posterizer, it's really expensive. Your build, like if you just put straight driving dunk to a 99 and then your vertical to a 90, which is what you need for legend posterizer, it's going to cost you a lot. Your build's already going to be at like a 74 or something like that. So posterizer is pretty expensive to get, especially on legend, because of how it's tied together. So another thing is that ball handle is pretty expensive because it's tied with speed with ball, it's tied with layup, it's tied to a lot of things. So certain attributes, there's an ad coming up, certain attributes are tied together even more. I'm not gonna say even more because they were last year too, but certain attributes are really tied together, and height affects how much they are tied together. And also this year everybody's already talking about the small builds this year. 2K already came out and said it. Your smaller builds are going to have more attribute points, so you can cap out smaller builds with more things. We're going to go over some builds that we saw from some people who posted. I think that's all I got for my major notes. Another thing is, overall, like, you get more. It seems like we're able to make more all-around builds this year rather than just last year in 24, where it was just pretty much you make a build, you can only do 1 or 2 things. This year, depending on height, you can pretty much do a lot more things. So there seems like you can have more freedom. Obviously, I don't think we're going to see too many like 2K15 7-foot demigods. You're not going to see any of those, but you're going to be able to have a lot more fun, and your build's going to be able to do more things. And then lastly, before we break down our first build that we looked at, don't forget about your cap breakers. You're going to get cap breakers. We don't know exactly how it's going to work, but you're going to get a total of 15 cap breakers, and it's going to be spread out throughout your rep rewards. So we don't know how long it's going to take to get those 15 cap breakers, but just don't forget them. Once you see how they actually work, how long it's going to take you to get them, then you can also worry about your build. So we're going to talk more about cap breakers with our first build breakdown, but let's get into the first one that we looked at, which was Joe No's build. He made a 5'9", 168, which I'm pretty sure is minimum height, minimum weight. I don't know if that's minimum wingspan, but just look at all the attributes you can actually get with these small builds. So you see he has a 99.3, 97 ball handle, 94 speed with ball, still put up perimeter at a 92, 99 steal, speed 89. You can see all the attributes on the screen. I'm not just going to keep reading them out, but you can see how many attributes you actually get with a small build. And once he if you want to go watch his video, you probably should, because he has a lot of good information in here. In this build, the full builder breakdown, and even this build, this video, he has, what was I talking about? I forgot. But yeah, you can bring up, once he put his height up to a 6 or 5'10", I can't think. Once he put his build up to 5'10", he lost 2 to his 3-point shot. He lost 2 to his speed with ball, 2 to his steal. So you're gonna drop down for each inch that you're putting on your player. So the taller you go, the less attributes you're gonna get. So the smaller, more attributes. That's just how it's gonna work this year. So you can see how many attributes you gotta get. I'm probably first build gonna make either a 5'9", 6 foot, between that 5'9" to 6'2" range. I'm just gonna play around with the builder. Obviously, I have to see how much I can actually get away with, how many things, because looking at this build, this is probably gonna be like what I'm gonna go for. But I would bring, because of cap breakers, see, I would bring the 3-point shot. I would leave the 3-point shot, and then I would apply my cap breakers to the ball handle later. I would bring steal down, because I would play off ball if I'm running threes with a 5'9". I don't need the steal, I just need interceptor. I don't need it on legend. I would say Hall of Fame, especially because you're a smaller build. Perimeter, I would like it high, but I would like a higher speed, being an offensive heavy point guard. I would like more speed. Agility is only for off ball, so I would like more speed. Personally, I like to be able to dunk, but if I can't get any dunk with the build, then I'll just go pure layup. That's perfectly fine, but just always play around with it. Also, more pass accuracy. 76 if you're trying to be a comp point guard. 76 is kind of low. I would go for something where you can get bailout, you can get the quicker passes, the passing styles. We don't know which one's going to be OP this year, but yeah, you can see how OP 5'9" builds actually look this year. So let's go on to our next build that I looked at, and this was Iggy Mo's Lockdown. He made him 6'6", 197, 7'2" wingspan. I didn't see too many locks yet, but it's still early. Somebody probably already has one. I just didn't scroll through all the videos either. But you can see you get the 98 steal, which is Legend Interceptor. You need the 99 steal for Legend Glove, though. Perimeter defense at a 98, that's going to get your on-ball menace, I think it's called this year, something like that. And they took out clamps, just renamed it basically, so that's going to be the badge that you're going to go to. But yeah, this is what a 6'6" 6'6" lock looks like. That's actually a tongue twister. Agility is going to be important, because that's how fast you move laterally this year, and that's like your off-ball speed, your defensive speed. So agility is going to be important for your locks. So it all, when you make your locks, it's based off of how you're going to play defense. So if you're going to be primary defender on ball, then this is probably the best that you're going to get. You're going to be corner sitting 79.3. We don't know what the minimum is going to be, but 79 is probably around that range. Personally, I would go a higher pass accuracy. I would go more driving dunk. I know you want to do the standing dunk because you're going to corner sit, cut, but I'm more of a driving dunk kind of lock, and I know my lock is too. But strength, we don't know how much it's gonna impact your defense this year with your body ups. But it seems like a lot of people are going to be making those 5'9" and those smaller builds. So 6'6" might just be good, and the strength at a 64 might just be enough. So we don't know. We got to see what most of the community is going to make offensively to see what the best locks are going to be like. So you can always play around with it. This lock is pretty much a pure perimeter lock. Interior, I would definitely want to do more interior. And if you're playing threes and you're going to be the lock and you're running with 2 other guards and no big, you're going to want more rebounding too. So it's always something to play around with. But this is a pretty solid overall lock build. But once again, it's based off the gameplay and it's based off of your play style. So just always look into that. So let's get into our next build. JMac TV is who I looked at because this was the first center build that popped up. And he called this the pretty much the Wemby build. 7'1", 220, 7'5" wingspan, and it definitely looks like a Wemby build. Everything is upgraded to some amount. I would personally like more rebounding from my big, but it's kind of like a stretch big. So it's a really solid big man, to be honest. 83 ball is going to be enough to get you them to spot up. I don't think you get limitless with it. I think it's an 83, I think, with bronze limitless. I'm not quite sure. I can't remember, but you can look into that when the game comes out. But yeah, you can dunk interior with the driving. You can standing dunk. I don't know why I said interior. Standing dunk, driving dunk. You can lay the ball up, close shot. So you got post control 86, midi. You're going to be able to hit the post fades, post hooks, all those post scoring moves, and you're going to be able to put the ball on the ground. 67 ball handle. He can pass at an 87, which is huge for break starter if you're running fives. If you're not, then just even passing with a big man is still good because you can hit those quick dots even if you're posting up. Quick pass right out to the shooter for an easy 3. So there you go. Interior defense 78. We don't know how much interior defense impacts this year, so we gotta wait and see. Perimeter at a 67. If you get switched on, you're gonna be able to move your feet a little bit, especially with the 60 agility. It's not gonna be fast, you're not gonna be strapping up, but you're gonna be able to get some stops. Steal at a 62, you might be able to get a passing lane steal here and there, but the 93 block is huge. You're gonna be able to block shots. Every big needs. Offensive rebound, I prefer with my first big is to put my offensive rebound up more than my defensive rebound because of positioning. You're usually gonna be in a better position to grab a board defensively than an offensive rebound, but that's just me. You can play around with it, make the build based off of how you want to. Speed 72, you're getting up and down the court. We already touched on agility. Strength, like I said, we don't know how much it's going to impact this year, so you shouldn't be getting bodied too much unless you're playing a 99 strength interior big, trying to do drop steps and stuff like that back down. But the 83 vert is going to help you get boards, block shots, and you can see the pogo stick. You get that on silver with this build, which is going to help you if you jump, get back down, go right back up. So very solid big man build. It seems bigs are going to be good this year. If you didn't see my last video, I talked about how post scorers are said to be back again. You can pretty much you don't have to sacrifice much with post control and all your post scoring moves with close shot and all that. If you're going all in on post scoring, you make a really good post score build. I didn't see one yet, but still got a week before the game comes out, and once you guys get your hands on it, you guys can test all that out. So now we got a 6'3", this all around point guard that Double H made. We got close shot at a 78. Well, close shot doesn't really matter, but you get a 93 dunk, 94 3, 83 ball handle, 86 speed with ball, 85 perimeter, 91 steal, 85. Like, this is a very solid all-around build, but the only thing is that we don't know right now is what animations are going to be good and how do you qualify, what attribute caps do you qualify for each animation. So is a 93 ball handle enough to get Kyrie's whatever crossover, whatever's going to be good this year? So we just got to play around with animations when we make builds. Well, we got to see the animation caps when we make our builds to determine what's going to be the minimum threshold for each thing. Like last year, you needed the 87 midi or 3 ball for T-Max base. So everybody was just putting midi up at 87, 3 ball at a 70 or whatever, and they were still shooting pretty good from 3. So we just got to check that out. But this is a very solid all-around build. It looks like attributes-wise, but once again, got to see gameplay, and it has to cater to your play style. So that's pretty much seems it's going to fit everybody's play style. Lastly, I watched Laker fan. He had this 6'11" point center, and it does seem like bigger builds are also going to be really good. I know the 5'9" looked like it had a lot of caps, but these taller builds are pretty all around well structured. So it seems like 2K this year is going for a lot of variety. That's why they allowed the smaller builds to have more attributes, which is pretty good, because it seems like people are really thinking about making the 5'9s, and you're always going to get your bigs, you're always going to get your locks. So you're going to have a lot of different builds this year. So you can see this point center gets the dunks, it gets the 3 balls a little iffy. I would put it up more, but you got to sacrifice some other things. Defense a little iffy too, but he can board. You see Laker fan did the same thing with the 92 offensive. So his offensive rebound is higher, but he can move up and down the court. Pretty athletic with all of his athletic attributes. So it's a very solid build. So overall, it seems like we got a lot more diversity in our builds this year. We get more attributes for smaller builds. Even bigger builds seem like they get a lot of attributes more than what we did in 24. So you're gonna see a lot more all-around builds, as well as different heights, different everything. So until we find out what the meta is, like always. But hopefully this lasts pretty long with people making a lot of different builds this year, and it's not just the same builds over and over again. You know, last year was 6'6s, the year before that in 23 was 6'9. So hopefully there's a lot of diversity, because we need that in the 2K community. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. I don't know when I'm gonna drop again. I guess when they drop the city news, which should be tomorrow, as I'm recording this. If not, it's already out. And then I'll drop that, and then the game comes out next week, September 4th. So we got builds, we got jump shots, we got SIGs, we got tutorials, we got everything. I just smacked my mouse. We got everything for you guys. So that's all I got, but I'll catch you on the next one.